gonna choke your chicken.
State your name for the record.
Wes Wilson.
Why are you here, Wes?
I am here to roast the gnome.
All right.
I'm here to give a public service announcement because so many people are uninformed about what's going on with that man, and so we're gonna do some analysis. We're gonna do some assessment, and I'm gonna make sure everyone leaves here informed and educated.
All right. Are you gonna give a psychiatric treatment to the gnome? Is that what you're?
No. We're gonna use science. It's gonna be hard science.
Excellent.
Hello, I'm Wes Wilson, and I'm getting old. So I would like to thank everybody involved with this. I'd like to thank DJ Nemesis for doing all this. Best Star Trek movie ever. Wear a big shirt. You should wear a big shirt that says B9. But I do have one question. Your last album was put out in 2008. Is that because you're still pissed that Kesha stole all your beats? Or is it because your fucking theremin broke? I don't really know. It was a theremin. I figured. I'm a rock guy, so I got a presentation that's coming later. You can go to see it on the wall here. And I thought it would be really important to write all that shit down. And then I got obsessive compulsive and wrote my whole fucking speech down. So, yeah, I can. I can almost sort of do this shit.
It's because you're senile. You're not drunk enough.
I know. I fucking had a lot to drink, and I shared it with you guys. I would like to thank the other roasters here. We have SPF. I've never seen a man of his size be so consistently drunk all the fucking time. And the only way I can figure that happens is he has an alcohol IV in like a colostomy bag or something, and he's just feeding it right into his fucking system.
This is his booze.
I know. And at POC last year, he was one of the judges for Iron Bartender, and in the middle of the show, he goes to one of the rooms, vomits, and then comes back and continues his fucking judging. So, and that's really fucking horrible shit. Why would you give that to me? I have Maker's Mark, and you're giving me... I think I taste her on it. And I was gonna make an SPF talks about his one ball joke, but he fucking already did it. What the fuck?
Hey, what was in that can was what Ray was doing outside for fucking 5 minutes.
Man, it's not surprising. He drinks so much his bladder just puts it right back out. I gotta tell you, very, very impressed. Great show. The fact that you're a hypnotist explains why there are so many beautiful women here. And the one question I have for you is, does your wife ever get really fucking pissed off at you because you give so many women orgasms from touching their wrist, but you can't give her one ever? Make me some dinner. I'll be back later. Ask Wendy. Bitch. Wendy's my wife, by the way.
I was waiting for you to tell me all about it.
I figured. So we got Ed, who I didn't really know Ed all that much. He's working with POC this year, so I'm trying to be nice to him. But I do hear he runs around with a fucking dick on his head a lot. And he gets a hickey on the bald head. But he's running the Play on Con suite this year, so don't eat anything in a cream sauce. I don't recommend that. It's not a good idea.
3 cheers for Chodo Boy!
Yeah. And Rick Flett up here, I barely know Rick, but on the internet, I'm going to read this. He's known as a callous, insensitive, bigoted, and unrepentant troll. To which he has replied, yes. I don't know. So, and by the way, he has a legendary scooter, I hear, that's been statistically proven to be significantly less empowering than a motorcycle, but only slightly more emasculating than a Vespa. And I I'd especially like to thank Dustin over here at Thandor. I'd like to comment for him. I rode onto his street for the first time today, and the dogwoods are blooming, and it was beautiful, and it totally distracted everyone from that creepy fucking van he parked in his driveway. For a little while, his house looked respectable, and I really like your place. I like that you called it Dune Lounge. It has all the ambiance of the desert planet Arrakis, and everyone who's got anything interesting to say is on lots of drugs. So, now, here's my question. How long is it until you have a skin condition and you're too fat to fucking wheel around without technology?
There's nothing wrong with being fat and having a skin condition.
He's got a girlfriend named Maddie who's evidently really fucking hot. Where is she? Where is she? She's over here. Maddie? Now, I hear Maddie lives 3 hours from you, and my main question is that so that you have time to get the other guys out of there, or for the drugs to kick in? I mean,
Mark, you thought you'd escape, fucker.
yeah.
We're gonna get your ass too.
And Basil isn't up here, but I really liked him in those Sherlock Holmes movies in the 30s. He was great. And we've got Ray. We've got Eternal Redneck up here, also known as Redneck Ray. And it takes a special kind of man to proudly name himself out of the dumbest fucking segment of society, west of Jersey Shore.
You're from Huntsville.
Hey, Rocket City, baby. We got Germans and shit and rockets. And we captured them via war, so, you know, guns. We've got Robin, who I don't know Robin myself really all that well, but she works at the Center for Leadership and Disability at UGA, is that right? Which explains a lot about why she's here with regard to GIO. So, I think we really figured that one out. Sabrina, I really got to tell you, I had planned on going for a lot of transgender jokes, but those are really low-hanging fruit, and I figured you got those already pulled off anyway. Love her. I really love this woman, and I love her for more than her boobs. But when I see her at cons all the way across the room, I have a really hard time telling if she's got a low shirt or if Joe and his twin brother are motorboating her. Unlike Ray, he picked his moniker to maximize his exposure. The camera is the single biggest panty dropper of any invention known to man. What the fuck? Did I fucking shout all over your dick? Yeah, I did. What the fuck? Fucking Ray.
He's got a bladder.
God damn it.
I've been drinking since February.
I heard that. I really liked you in Aladdin.
And I loved you in Office Space.
I was saying the camera's the single biggest panty dropper invention of mankind. It stands with the Ferrari, the vibrator, and GHB as some of the greatest fucking things to get people laid of all time. Oh, that's outside, yeah. And with this tool in hand, Joe has managed to build quite a harem. Which reminds me, women, with so much of you willing to fucking take off your clothes for this man, why won't any of you give him a fucking Tic Tac? Okay? Jesus Christ! What the fuck? It's like, here's my pussy! Anyway. That's a good push for the we do need to question the quality of the women he attracts. He can fill a room faster with broken women than an R-Pats movie, and it's really fucking amazing. And speaking of filling things, how does anybody get into that fucking hot tub, man? That thing, I swear, it's got to have more vaginal fluid in it than Mark's girlfriend 3 hours before he gets there. That the fucking apes in the Atlanta Zoo start going 2001 and beating each other with their heads. It's fucking filthy. There's business people in here. Have any of you thought of investing in chlorine? Really? So, one of the reasons I wanted to get, I'm with PlayOnCon, and we paid to have me up here because this is a PSA. Have you looked around? These people are fucking sick. They need some school learning, okay? And they'll get it from fucking Alabama if that's what it goddamn takes. So most people know that there's a direct relationship between social acceptability or for that matter, social respectability, and the number of lascivious photos you take of women. Okay, and as you start turning your leery eye on nubile women, your acceptability drops, and you enter what we call the nadir of respectability. You'll notice the little dip there. Okay. But as you continue taking pictures, you'll reach what we call the professional pinnacle. And that's the little point there. And that's where your respectability for persistence is completely undermining your creepiness. Okay? So you come off to others as if you're taking your craft seriously. Okay? But after that, things begin to go downhill again. Creepy photographers get creepier the more pictures they fucking take. But we've actually done some studies, and we have found that after a little while, at least Joe has shown to us, that if you keep fucking going despite all goddamn obstacles, your social expectability will rise back up. Most people who go down into the nadir of low respect, those people are never heard from again. And on the right here we have Joe. But Joe's shown a new range of behavior beyond that, where he's amazingly prolific. And we wanted to know why. Why does his social acceptability rise? So I'd like to show you another graph. We interviewed 50 male con attenders, and we'll nickname them Bitter. And we asked their opinion as to why Joe managed to hang out with so many hot women. So the first group. The first answer clearly demonstrates how deluded men are, as they seem to think that women really do like men in kilts. No, really. Drink some more. You'll keep believing that shit. So anyway, moving on to the next slide. The second group were under this is a reasonably believable assumption that he was paying them money, which that's believable. I can understand why some guys would think that. Now the third is more logical, and it assumed that it wasn't all it was all over enthusiastic gratitude, specifically for good lighting and Photoshop skills. I think that's really where the meat comes through for that. And then the last group affirmed what we learned from the first group by a profound display of cross-gender ignorance. Bitches be tripping. So let's move on. We're going to move on. Now, specifically, we wanted to look. Oh, wait, hold on, wait. There's a card missing. We decided to look at the women that Joe has that actually interacts with. So let's move on to the next slide. So we've got two groups here. We've got his models and his lovers, and specifically we want to look at the group in purple there, the middle group. Those are people in we call that the valley of low self-esteem. We're still asking an answer to the question most people want to know about Joe. So let's move on to the next slide. We asked the people in the Valley of Low Self-Esteem, why would you ever copulate with this man? And we discovered overwhelmingly that the inhabitants of the circle here, if we move on to the next slide, were too drunk to care about what they had done. But I can't get that kind of fucking, it's a JPEG. I can't get that kind of Jenny flip. Anyway, okay, so we move on to the next slide. A large portion thought it might earn them free photographs from a man who doesn't charge his subjects. We call this the camera creep oxymoron. Okay? So moving on to the next group, this is the overwhelming miasma of mental dysfunction, confusing all difference between intimacy and degrading sexuality. And logically, I think most of the people with half a brain here think this group is really much bigger, they just don't fucking know it. So I think that's what we're looking at here. If she'd even talk to you, we could discuss this, but it's like a slime trail behind you. She doesn't want to touch that shit. So the last group, and we'll bring up, now this doesn't intersect. These are incomprehensible replies. Some were hippie noises about being one with an artist. Okay, and then some others gibbered nervously, and the last category kept reciting the days of the week and chanting "wee wee wee so excited," which I didn't fucking get what was going on there. But so let's return to the bar graph. Let's go back to the bar graph. Now we want to look at some mitigating factors that our men probably only pondered subconsciously, realistically. So let's take the first group. First off is the illusion that stature like Joe's conveys a certain harmlessness. Okay? And I think this is legitimate. I think a lot of people think short guys are safe. I think it's just instinctual. I don't, you know. So let's move on to the next slide. Next is the axiom that proximity to hot begets hot. So there's a critical mass. There's a critical mass for hotness. And I think Joe surrounds himself with what we call seed babes. You know, he's got some women that he just kind of gets around him. And so they think he's much cooler than he is, and that's the logic of that he pays them. I think that's where that comes from. So lastly, the last group we must face is basically the simple reality that piercings are fierce, and so all his piercings make people, very impressed. So now I'd like for you guys to look over these graphs one last time, and really what I want you to do is I hope just keep going through them. We need to look over them all. I hope that by looking at them you can gain an appreciation